We just witnessed one of the craziest trade deadlines in recent memory, but something that stood out was the number 3 prospect in the entire game, Leo Vries, on the move in a 6-player blockbuster. But I think we may have seen something like this before. Let's take a look at the top 5 highest-ranked prospects on the move since 2004. Shout out MLB.com writer Joe Trezza for the quick ranking. His article will be linked in the description below. Check out the full list of players, and some of the players didn't make the list for this video. Number 5, the 3rd-ranked prospect in a blockbuster for a future first-ballot Hall of Famer. Cameron Maybin was the 3rd-ranked prospect in baseball in the offseason heading into 2008, only behind Evan Longoria of the Rays and Jay Bruce of the Reds, 2 future MLB All-Stars. On December 7th, remember the date for later in the video, 2007, Detroit and the Florida Marlins struck a deal that involved the young Maybin. The trade included up-and-coming star Miguel Cabrera and Dontrelle Willis to the Tigers in exchange for Maybin, Andrew Miller, Mike Rabelo, Frankie De La Cruz, Dallas Traherne, and Burke Badenhop. Maybin started his career now in Florida, and after just 3 seasons, Maybin was shipped out again, this time to San Diego for a pair of pitchers, Ryan Webb and Edward Mojica. San Diego was where Maybin blossomed and began his career as a journeyman. In 2011-2012, though, he stood out. The outfielder had career years, finishing with at least 130 games played, 125 hits, 25 stolen bases, at least a 2.8 WAR, and over a 656 OPS. All in all, Maybin played 15 seasons in Major League Baseball and over 1,100 games played, and even 21 games played for the 2017 World Series champion Houston Astros. But the Motor City might have been the big winner with a first-ballot Hall of Famer on their end of the deal. Number 4, Gio to Chi-Town. You know how I said to remember the date of December 7th? Well, it's time to fast forward 9 years into the future, December 7th, 2016, where history repeated itself again with another number 3 prospect in all of baseball on the move. Sensing a theme? In 2016, Lucas Giolito was on another planet as one of the best pitchers in baseball in the entire league with future ace potential. The Nationals prospect climbed 3 levels in the minor league season from single A up to triple A. The right-hander even finished the year in D.C. with the Nats and went 0-1 with a 6.75 ERA in just 6 games and 4 starts. With Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg already there, the Nationals were building a super rotation with Giolito's proper development right at the core. But the Nationals needed some outfield help, and Giolito was packaged with fellow prospect Ronaldo Lopez to grab Adam Eaton from the Chicago White Sox. Giolito was sent to Chi-Town with a team that was building for the future, having made a trade a day earlier with their ace, Chris Sale, going out the door for the number 1 prospect in the game. The California native was an instant impact starter from day 1 and took the ball as a full-time starter in stride. By 2019, his 3rd season in the South Side, Giolito was an all-star and finished with a 14-9 record with a 3.41 ERA and tossed a league-best 3 complete games and finished top 6 in the Cy Young. Between 2019 and 2023, Giolito was a consistent middle to top-of-the-line starter with the White Sox and even the Angels and Guardians by the end of 2023. 24, Giolito signed a contract with the Boston Red Sox, but missed the entire season after undergoing an internal brace procedure in his right elbow. Now, back in 2025, back on the hill, Lucas Giolito is still carving up bats with the other Sox, the Red Sox, having a career resurgence. Gio has had a great career, but DC has some hardware in 2019, with Eaton playing a big role. Number 3, Myers on the move. A pair of our teams, the Royals and the Rays, made a large trade that ended up as a perfect split in what both teams needed, and at the center of it was the number 3 prospect heading into the 2013 season, Wil Myers. In December of 2012, the Royals and the Rays agreed to a trade that would send starter James Shields, just 1 year removed from an All-Star appearance, and closer Wade Davis to Kansas City in exchange for Myers, Jake Odorizzi, Mike Montgomery, and Patrick Leonard. Myers had not played in the big leagues yet, but finished up his last major stint in the minors in stride with a slash line like no other. In AAA Omaha, he batted .304 with a .378 OBP, .554 slugging, with 24 homers and 215 hits in just 99 games. The outfielder carried that right into his rookie year with Tampa, where he won the 2013 AL Rookie of the Year over Tigers infielder, now pop icon, Jose Iglesias, and Rays teammate on the hill, Chris Archer. Myers finished the 2013 season with a .293 average, 13 homers, and 53 runs batted in, and playing in just 88 games. Just when Myers thought he was settling in, though, he was moved again, this time in December of 2014 to our old friends, the San Diego Padres, in a 3-team deal that included a few other teams we've talked about before. The North Carolina native spent the next 8 seasons in San Diego, where he had some of his best years in the bigs, even being named an All-Star starter in 2016. And after one final season chowing down on some Skyline chili in Cincinnati, Myers called it a career, and the former top prospect finished with a career 13.2 WAR, 533 runs and RBIs, and fell just 35 hits shy of 1,000. Myers had a solid career, but just like number 4, the team he was traded from got a World Series out of it just a few years later. Number 2, Vries out for the all-in Padres. Clearly, A.J. Preller was not the only general manager in Padres history that was ready to deal current or former top prospects, but in 2025, just years removed from trading 5 prospects for Juan Soto, he took it to a whole new level with Leo Vries. On July 31st, Preller shipped out Vries, the number 3 prospect in the game, along with Erdinel Nunez, Braden Nett, and Henry Baez, who are exceptional prospects in their own right, for closer Mason Miller and starter J.P. Sears from the Athletics. If you've been on this channel before, you may have seen us waxing poetic about how good Leo Vries is with his skills. But let's take a further look. Vries has at least a 55 grade hit tool in every prospect grading category on MLB's prospect rankings, with a high of his hit tool at 60. He doesn't strike out, and he hits the ball hard everywhere. So far, now across 2 different high-A squads, the 18-year-old has a .246 average with a .405 slugging and a .759 OPS. And since he became a Lansing Lugnut, the A's high-A affiliate, Vries has 7 hits in 7 games with 6 RBIs and a triple sprinkled in. Someone is playing a little angry. Now, the ETA is still listed as 2027 for the teenager, so unlike the others on this list, it remains to be seen how he will perform in the bigs. But San Diego is once again going all in, and even the number 3 prospect in the game is a casualty. Number 1, Yoan for sale. So this is the big move that happened one day before Lucas Giolito became a White Sox in December of 2016, and it changed the course of both franchises involved. One of the most dominant pitchers in baseball, Chris Sale, getting shipped out of Chicago to Boston in exchange for the number 1 prospect in all of baseball, Yoan Moncada, along with others. The official deal: the White Sox received Moncada, flame-throwing righty Michael Kopech, Victor Diaz, and Luis Alexander Basabe, in exchange for, at the time, the 5-time All-Star in Sale. While Sale was a staple in Boston and an eventual 2018 World Series champ, Moncada spent the half of 2017 in AAA Charlotte before getting called up to the big leagues on July 19th. The switch-hitting second baseman jumped right in and took over the everyday role at second. Over the next 5 seasons, Moncada had 2 of his best seasons in the majors, finishing with a 5.1 WAR with a 315 average and 161 hits and a 915 OPS in 2019. And then just a few years later in 2021, he finished with a 4.1 WAR with a 263 average, 33 doubles, and an OPS plus of 116. Moncada was a driving force in the White Sox winning 90 games for the first time in over a decade and made a seamless transition from the second over to the hot corner. Unfortunately, though, health became his bugaboo, and Moncada, just like the White Sox, started a downward spiral. Yoan played in 206 games over the next 3 seasons, 2022 to 2024, and 104 of those games came in 2022 alone. Moncada became a free agent in 2025 and signed a deal with the LA Angels, marking an end to his time in Chicago. While Moncada's story is still ongoing, I think it's pretty safe to say with that trophy in the closet, the Red Sox won this sale. So the themes may be the Padres will always move the best prospects in the game. Some Hall of Famers may be involved, and most of this might take place in the winter, but A.J. Preller may have some World Series sights, with every team trading the prospect, other than San Diego with Vries, of course, making the World Series, and 3 of those teams winning the World Series within a max of 3 years of the trade. So remains to be seen, maybe Preller is looking a little bit into the future with this one. Which player stands out among the rest? Will DeVries trade be worth it? Let us know in the comments below. And be sure to check out all of our videos on Instagram, X, TikTok, and of course, YouTube. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.